Blackburn Rovers return to EFL action this weekend to take on Millwall. But which Blackburn Rovers will show up? The good one or the shit one? We're going to take a look at it next. That's right, folks. Back once again, another match preview. Looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' next match out in the Championship up against Millwall, and we'll get to that in just a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe and back to all things Rovers related, Championship related, Woo Cup related later this year. Goodness gracious me! Before we get the deep end, of course, I want to shout out to, of course, the fantastic people that is Blue Rose Capital for sponsoring this video. Absolutely fantastic support from those guys behind the scenes. But anyway, and also if you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. So we are jumping the deep end, of course. Have a look at the game itself. It is this one, which means it's this one. That's right, of course, coming at you at Ewood Park. Of course, last time out, Rovers were shit against Luton, but hoping to get a bit back to winning ways once again. So let's take a look at the coaches, of course, under the spotlight. John Dahl Thompson started off okay with Rovers, 50-50 pretty much down the line. Of course, with a 1.66 points per game ratio. That's, of course, across his career. Up against Gary Rowett in the dugout, too, of course, a 1.52 points per match. And, of course, a success against Rovers. He's managed against them 10 times over the course of his career, picking up around about a 1 point per match. So he fancies a draw, basically, is what we're saying. Let's take a look at the hot players are going to be in the spotlight. Of course, Rovers, it is Diaz. He remains valued around about 14, maybe 15 million pounds, up against, of course, Jake Cooper, the heart of the Millwall defence. 1.99 metres tall. He's a bloody gigantuan. Centre-back, his contract does expire at the end of the year, just like bloody Diaz. We'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at the values of the squads. Of course, Rovers 46 million pounds. Against Millwall's 32 as well. We have an average age of 24.4, one of the youngest, if not the youngest, in the Championship, up against Millwall's 27.1. Both teams have 2 national players. We have 6 youths internationals in our team, 1 for Millwall, 7 foreigners compared to their 9. Pretty good as well. Let's take a longer look at it then, shall we? Of course, as we look forward to the game itself, coming at you this coming weekend. Let's try and what are we going to do here? There we go. That'll do it. We'll clean up a little bit. So there you go. They played each other 16 times, these two sides, in 2012. 7 wins for Rovers, 3 wins for Millwall, and we've got 6 draws. Of course, Rovers 50% form right now, 1-3, and lost 3 over the last 6. We are very hard to predict. Up against, of course, the Millwall side, 33% form, winning 2 of the last 3 or 2 of the last 6, 33% form, and then moving forward as well. Of course, our biggest win over Millwall was a 2-0 win. Their biggest win over us was a 2-0 win also. We've actually scored 20 goals compared to their 13 over the course of those 16 games. Works at around 1.25 goals a game compared to Millwall's 0.81. So let's take a look at, of course, the other numbers that matter. That is, of course, Blackburn Rovers' recent form into this game. Of course, we do come to this on the back of a 2-0 drubbing by Luton. It was a shit show. But before that, we did take on Watford at their place and we won 2-0. So, sorry, at our place 2-0. So hopefully we can bring back that Ewood vibe and get back to winning ways once again up against another London club. So the recent form is a bit, like I said, hot and cold, of course. Losing to both Luton and Bristol City and Stoke in quick succession, of course, beating Watford and Blackpool also. And when we do win, we do it with a clean sheet as well. So hopefully we can continue that as well. Heading out of this game, we take on Cardiff, of course, recently departed manager Cardiff. I think they're managerless at the moment. I am recording this on Sunday. And of course, then we take on, that's at Wales. Then we take on Rotherham at Ewood Park, also recently managerless as well. So then it's Wigan, of course, the rearranged game. I think it's going to be on the TV as well. Then Borough, of course, and then it is the Tony Mowbray derby at Ewood Park on the 18th of October. A bit of a cracking set of games coming at you. This is the squad now. Again, maybe or more often than not aimed at the Millwall fans. This is just some of the names that should feature this coming weekend. We've got Clinton Mola, of course, who did make a cameo in the game against Luton, I believe. A couple of minutes there. George Hurst looking to get his first goal. He does look lively, so he does offer us a bit more move forward. It's a very, very young squad here, with, of course, Bradley Dacarina, one of the oldest, if not the oldest, outfield player on the books. Or is Smodic older than him? Let me know down below. This is, of course, the best players so far this season for Rovers. Daniel Ayala with 7.29. Travis up there with a 7.2. Hedges, Kaminsky, Wharton, Hyam. Other Wharton there, Carter, Dolan, and Phillips, who recently signed a new bloody deal. How bloody amazing is that if you're a Rovers fan? Let me know down below if you're elated with that. This is my lineup here, going with the back 5 or a 3-5-3-4-2 or 3-4-3, whatever you want to look at it. So we got Kaminsky between 6. We got Scotty Ward at the back, Ayala and Hyam, of course, make up the back 3 with Dunn on the left, Britton on the right, Travis Buckley. You can probably put Morton in there if you want. Dolan with Diaz and Hedges up top. Hurst could also start as well. It's the Hedges as well. Gallagher may be fit. Hopefully, a supercharged Rovers coming at you this weekend with a lot of faces that have been on the sidelines for a while. Take a look at the goals then. Of course, Diaz got 4, Dax got 2, Travis 2, Rakaday's got 2 as well. That's including League Cup games as well. Meanwhile, Travis got 4 yellows, Gallagher's got 3, Dak and Costello. Rankin Costello got 2. No red cards so far this campaign. Kicking off forward, let's take a look at the goals and where they come from. 8 of them through open play, 2 set pieces and 1 counter attack. Yet to get a penalty this season. And of course, when we're in possession, 40% of our possession is coming down the right hand side. 42% of it is in the middle third as well. 34% in the defensive third, and just 24% going forward. When we do take a shot, we prefer the left hand side to the right, and of course we prefer the 18-yard box. 58% of all of our shots coming at you in that zone. Kicking on forwards, take a look at the opposition. It is Millwall, of course, coming at you. Their recent form pretty decent, especially, in fact, they've actually played the last 3 games at home. They won 2 of them. They lost 1 of them. They also lost the last time they were up in Lancashire against Burnley as well. So again, hot and cold kind of stuff going on here. I'm looking at it, winning twice at the last 5 for them. Of course, heading out this game, they also take on managerless, or currently recently managerless, Rotherham as well. That's on the 5th of October. Then it's Middlesbrough, then it's Bristol City, Watford, of course, and then West Brom to complete the set back in the 22nd of October. Take a look at the squad then, shall we? This is a very small looking squad for Millwall. They got Biakowski, of course, between the sticks, or contender anyway. I don't think he's been playing recently. Cooper, of course, we already mentioned him already. Shackleton, Styles, again, a player that we were coveted to tracking these on loan here. Not a permanent deal, though, loan with a potential offer to no, there's no offer there. He signed a new deal with Barnsley. Honeyman, of course, was brought in as well. Vogslam, I don't know too much about him. Bedekofobi and Zion Fleming, of course, coming in from the Dutchlands as well. This is how I see, this is actually the best players so far. Cresswell's been scoring goals, 7.16 for him. Hutchinson as well up there. Saville, Malone, Morris. When I say Morris, I meant Wallace. Honeyman, Styles, Fleming, Biakowski and Cooper. But this is the starting lineup I've got for you here. And in the heart of the defence, Cooper is in there. It's just the graphic came up a bit weird. We've got Long between sticks. We've got Wallace, Cooper and Cresswell, and then on the left hand side Malone, on the right we have Shackleton, we have Styles and Mitchell, Honeyman in the middle there pulling the strings, Afobe and Fleming, of course. Take a look at the goal scoring stats. Cresswell's got 3 from the back, Afobe's got a couple, and Saville and Cooper as well. As for the yellows, Wallace got a couple, Honeyman 2, Burry and McNamara as well. Honeyman also the one and only red card for Millwall this season. Take a look at the stats then, shall we? Of course, Millwall's goals, 5 from set pieces, 4 from open play, 2 own goals, no counter attacks and 0 penalties as well. When of course attacking, they prefer the left and the right hand side. 37% of all of their possession coming down the flanks, 44% is in the middle third as well, and of course 26% in their own defensive quarter or third, and 30% moving forward as well. When they've taken a shot, 30% of the times come down the left, 76% down your throat there, and 11% down the right hand side. 7% of all their shots in the 18-yard box, 26 long range cookies, and 4% are in that scrappy W area. Let's take a look at the recent records there between these two sides, heading into the away form of Millwall up against the home form of Rovers. Just 1-3 for Rovers at home, up against the Millwall side, who haven't won all season on the road. It looks like just four defeats and a draw, and they've only 4 of those 5 games they haven't scored a goal on their travel. So not travelling well at the moment are Millwall. But the recent round of events between these two sides, both home and away, Rovers have played Millwall the last 6. We won 3 of them. They just won once. There's been a couple of draws as well. That last victory for Mills way back in July 2020. That could have been the COVID year, I think. It looks like a late day. But of course, Rovers coming to this 4 games unbeaten against Millwall, picking up a couple of wins and a couple of draws. Last season it was back-to-back draws, both at the Den and at Ewood Park. But of course, the last 6 at Ewood is good reading for Rovers. Played 6, won 4, drawn 2, yet to taste defeat of the last 6. Some goals in there as well. Look at that 5-goal thriller way back with in 2013 there. Dax got a couple of goals, at least a goal anyway, against them, maybe on the score sheet as well. So take a look at the style or what we can expect from the game then coming at you. Rovers, strengths, creating chances through using through balls, creating chances through individual skill and protecting the lead. Weaknesses though are fouling in dangerous areas, defending against long shots, aerial duels, defending counter-attacks, and defending set pieces. Style of play is attacking down the left, taking long shots, short passes, attempting through balls often, and playing in our own half. We also like the opponents to play aggressively against us, and we also can be very, very aggressive as well. As for Millwall, their strengths, set pieces, coming back from losing positions, scoring chances, aerial duels, creating chances through individual skill, protecting the lead, stealing the ball from the opposition. Their weaknesses, though, keeping possession of the ball, finishing, scoring chances, defending against long shots, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, and defending against skillful players. They're very, very weak in that department. Coming at you, though, their style of play, down the middle, they attack, long shots, controlling the game in the opposition half, long balls, crosses often, rotate the first 11. The forecast says Rovers will score as a result of an individual skill, Millwall will dominate in the air, Millwall will score from a set piece, and Millwall will control the game in the opposition half. That's what we're expected. This is the stats then, of course, for the championship as a whole. As you can see, the possession, Burnley lead the charge on that one quite comfortably over Norwich, Swansea, West Brom, and then Middlesbrough. As for the most aggressive, Sunderland lead the charge on that one. That's Mowbray effect there, 27 yellows, 1 red, Borough, the Blades, Preston, and then Swansea. Aerial duels won by Wigan, Preston, then Millwall, of course, in third spot with Middlesbrough, and then Watford leading the pack there. As for the shots per game, West Brom, Norwich, the Blades, Stoke, Burnley, of course, pass accuracy, Swansea, Burnley, Norwich, West Brom, and QPR. Let's take a look at, of course, what else is going on this coming weekend out in the Championship. As you can see, Hull City against Luton, that kicks us all off on Friday, September the 30th. Then it's Blackpool, Norwich, of course, at Bloomfield Road, Rotherham against Wigan at the New York Stadium, Cardiff against Burnley over in Wales, Sunderland, of course, against Preston at the Stadium of Light. We've got Coventry up against Borough, of course, at the Rico, Reading against Huddersfield at the Majeski. We got West Brom against Swansea at the Hawthorns. Then it's Sheffield United against Birmingham at Bramall Lane, Bristol City against QPR at Thrashton Gate, and then, of course, Stoke against Watford at the Bet365 Stadium. That's, of course, Sunday morning for me on the 2nd of October. That's, of course, the table right here, right now. Rovers are in 7th. Potentially, we could go as high as 3rd if we were to get victorious. It's very, very tight between 3rd and all the way down to maybe 10th. Millwall come into on 13th spot on a win for them. They can actually see them leapfrog Rovers up as high as potentially is 5th in the table. And at the moment, Coventry, Huddersfield, and Middlesbrough going down. Sheffield United, Norwich going up. Burnley, Reading, Sunderland, and QPR in the playoffs in one way or another. Let's take a look at, of course, the journey for us both this season. Of course, Millwall had an up and down sort of season. They kind of steadied the ship now around about 14th. As for Rovers, we're in 7th, and we're doing all right. We're very hot and cold. Of course, a lot of teams can be considered hot and cold, but of course, Rovers are in the mix there. Aston Villa needs to charge in the top goal scoring chart, 7 goals for him. He hasn't scored a couple though. Morris up there, of course, scored against Rovers, 6 goals for him. Sargent as well with Stewart. Hogan up there now with Birmingham and Dye there for Sheffield United. Willock, Wells, Conway, and Rodriguez up there. As for the assists, in his chair, Wyman, Clark, Johansson, and Barcelar with 4 apiece. What about the prediction then, shall we, for this game coming at you over at Ewood Park? I'm going to back the boys here at home. 2-0 win for me, 3 points in the bag, and hopefully moving up the ladder once again. It is a very, very difficult thing to call Rovers these days. We just don't know which one will show up, but hopefully we can get back to winning ways on this one. And I'll let you know that I'm hoping to do a watch along in this game. However, we are on the road between now, which is Sunday the 25th of September, all the way through to the day of kickoff. And we may or may not be back in time for this game. If we are, it's going to be happening on the road. No, if we are back, then of course we'll have a watch along and it'll be back here where it usually is. If not, it might be happening on the road. We'll see about that though. We'll let you know as we go. But until then, guys and girls, make sure you smash the thumbs up, smash the bell. But until then, we're going to be going. Ciao.